And joining us now for the AARP Consumer Alert is Karen Morgan, member of the Executive Council of AARP Maryland. Karen, it's good to see you again. We want to focus on a big birthday that's important to almost all retired people out there, and that is the birthday of the Social Security program, which is old enough that it could be collecting Social Security, right?
Yes, exactly. It's 87 years old as of August. It was signed into law in August of 1935 by President Franklin Roosevelt.
And Social Security benefits are important for almost every retired person you know. It's a important, predictable, secure monthly check.
It sure is. It's it's about the only source of guaranteed income that I can think of that is not subject to stock market fluctuations the way that 401ks or IRAs might be. So it's a solid source of income, and with looking up the information that applies to you and your situation, you know what your benefit will be from the time that you're eligible to collect, which is at as early as age 62. You can figure out what your benefit will be for the rest of your life, and your benefits will increase gradually until you reach age 70, at which point whatever your benefit is will remain set, but it will increase. So at 62, if you take benefits at 62 and say your full retirement age is 67, which is true for a lot of people contemplating retirement these days, you'll get your benefit minus about 30 to 35% for the rest of your life. If you wait until age 70, you'll get your full benefit plus another 24% on top of that. So that's why when you take Social Security is so important. And for some people, it may make sense to wait until age 70. Other people, it may make sense to take it at 62 or to wait until full retirement age.
It's such an interesting debate. I mean, you always hear financial experts advising people to wait until 70 because then it's a form of longevity insurance. But in practice, so many people take it early. Hardly anybody waits until 70. And there's a variety of reasons for it. And it's a really complex decision for somebody. It depends on your health, your tax status, whether you're going to be working. The taxation of Social Security gets complicated. And there's actually a provision, I understand, where if you decide to take it early and you change your mind, you have a short period of time to reverse it, right?
Yes, that's what they call the do-over, Jeff, and it really is a do-over because say you're eligible for Social Security and you take it. And say you take it earlier than your full retirement age, and you think it's a great idea for a couple of months, but then you start having second thoughts, and you don't really want to lose that maybe 30 to 35% for the rest of your life per month. So if you don't want to do that, you can go back to the Social Security Administration and ask to rescind your benefits payments. And as long as you pay back what was already paid back out to you, then you can reapply at a later date. But you can only do that once in your lifetime.
You know, another reason that people may be these days considering taking their benefits early is what you hear in the news all the time about the status of the Social Security Trust Fund and the possibility that the trust fund is going to run out of money at some point. That date used to be way in the future. It may be getting a little bit closer. You've been in the public policy space for a long time. Even if that happens, I mean, can you see Congress actually cutting everybody's benefits?
I don't know about that, Jeff. I mean, and almost anything can happen. Back in the 80s, there were major changes made to the Social Security program to certify the benefit. And that's when the Social Security full retirement age was changed. So before those changes were made, everybody had the same retirement age, which was 65. To increase the amount of money available for Social Security benefits, that was changed. So now everyone has a full retirement age of at least 66 until 67.
You know, one other weird thing, they haven't changed the Medicare age, right? And that's still 65, and most people are paying the premiums for that out of their Social Security benefits. So if you've delayed claiming Social Security to say, say your normal full retirement age is 67, you don't have the ability to pay Medicare out of Social Security yet, right?
That's right, you do not. So if you're in that situation, and a lot of us are, then you pay for Medicare premiums out of pocket. So whatever the Medicare premium is, you're going to pay that out of your savings or your cash or whatever your source of savings is. So, and you'll do that until you do claim Social Security. Once you get your benefits from Social Security, then the Medicare premium will be deducted from your Social Security check before you ever see it. So what you get from Social Security will be your full retirement benefit minus the Medicare premium. But before that, yes, you're paying for it out of pocket.
You know, about maybe a decade ago, Social Security started sending out statements to everybody. You hadn't requested it, it just showed up in the mail. It had your whole earnings history, it had your projected future benefits, a lot of information on there. It was extremely useful. So of course they stopped doing that, which I think was for budget reasons. But all that information is still available.
It absolutely is. And we recommend that you sign up for an account at My Social Security. That is where you can set up an individual account, and you have your earnings records, your Social Security number, what your benefit will be at full retirement age or at any point between ages 62 to 70. And remember, you can wait until after age 70 to claim benefits if you want, but your benefit will not change. Whatever it is at age 70, that's it. So it probably doesn't make sense to wait past age 70 unless there are other factors at work. Your benefit won't increase. But from 62 to 70, it will gradually increase. But you can see how that tracks for your specific situation based on your Social Security number. If there's a spouse in your life and you want to know about the spousal benefit, you can see how that plays out. And there are other benefits that you may be receiving from Social Security. On mysocialsecurity.gov, you can see that. So we really recommend that you sign up for that account. And you can print out a statement anytime you want to. If you want a statement every day, you can print a statement out every day. But if you don't have an account and you're not receiving benefits, you will get a statement from the Social Security Administration once a year from the time you turn age 60. So it'll be once a year from the time you turn age 60. Most of us need more information for planning purposes. We need it more frequently than that. And you can easily need that like 5, 6, 7 years in advance so that you can make an informed decision for you and your family.
Well, one disturbing thing is that you hear cases where people call Social Security or they go to an office and they wind up getting incorrect advice, which is understandable because it's extraordinarily complex. There are rules on top of rules, and every situation is different, and it's very complicated. But as we said at the beginning, it's extremely important that people get it right and that they have the best information. And any thoughts on how to deal with that?
Well, that's one of the reasons that we refer people to AARP.org. You can go to that site, put Social Security in the search bar, and get estimators, webinars, all kinds of information about the Social Security program. You can look at that, compare that with what you're seeing in your Social Security statement. Look at your earnings record. Do those numbers make sense to you? Maybe there are a couple of years missing when you're pretty sure that you worked and that your wages qualify for Social Security. So if that's the case, that gives you additional information so that you can call the Social Security Administration. If what they're saying doesn't track, then you can continue to talk about that with them to get that record corrected. But it really helps to get information from an objective source like AARP, look at those estimators, look at what happens depending on when you claim Social Security between ages 62 and 70, and ask your family, does that make sense? You can't, I mean, we're in these days when information is everything, having adequate information is everything. We can't go to just one source to get adequate information anymore. So if you call up somebody at the Social Security Administration and you're not sure that you're getting correct information, call back. See what the next service agent says. Does that track with what you heard before? And if what they're saying doesn't track with what you're seeing, then again, that's another reason to question that information and to call up the Social Security Administration to get things corrected if there are errors.
Excellent idea to not be afraid to call back or go to an office if you got some advice on the phone and you want to double check it. I'll end on this. When we've talked about the importance of Social Security benefits, we're in an inflationary period. Hopefully inflation is declining, but we've had a couple of years of significant changes in prices. And one of the great things for beneficiaries of Social Security is that the benefits keep up. And we had a 9% cost of living adjustment, which would have been inconceivable 5 or 10 years ago. Another reason to take all this very seriously.
Exactly. And you really have to look at not just Social Security, but what other sources of income do you have? And, how does that fit in? I know, like, for example, when my mom, both my parents had Social Security. When my dad passed away, I went with my mother to the Social Security office, and we looked at what she was getting for her benefit based on her earnings record, and then compared that to what she would get based on my dad's earning record. And based on my dad's earning record, her Social Security benefit ticked up. And so she got that as her benefit instead of what she was using based on her earnings. And that little bit of extra money really came in handy over the months and years after my father passed away. I mean, she used that money to buy groceries, pay utilities, to make repairs around the house. All those things, that relying on that check every month meant the world to her. And it means so much to so many people who are relying on Social Security.
That's a good place to leave it. Karen Morgan with the AARP Maryland Executive Council. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jeff.